Hey everybody, Matt, Fuel Woodworking here, and today we're going to be showing you how I built these custom end tables or bedside tables for my roommate. So I'll turn these around here so you can see. Turned out real great. Clean, no hardware visible. I'm going to show you how I did it. Stay tuned. Let's go. Yeah, welcome back to another video. So start off this project, same as always, milling down the lumber. These were really big boards, so I chose to chop them down into smaller, more manageable pieces. I don't have a big old planer or anything like that, just a little guy, so it's a little bit more time, but it makes a better product, and that's what we're all about here. See here, testing it out, so that rocks back and forth a lot, so we gotta shim that up. We'll run this whole thing through the planer and get the top all flattened out. And then we can flip it over and do the other side. I secure that down with that screw and a block there. That holds it tight. A little bit of this glue. That just holds those shims in place from vibrating out. So you can see there the top surface is getting nice and smooth, and then we'll have one flat surface as a reference. So now, after I've done that with all 8 pieces, you can flip them over and run them through without the sled. Then you'll know you'll have 2 milled edges that are parallel to one another. Check out those wheels on that planer, by the way. Custom setup off of a 30-year-old lawnmower that didn't work anymore. Pretty slick, if I do say so myself. You get to see those in action later in the video too. Yeah, so see, now we can run all the boards through, and this way you know all of your boards are the same thickness. You want to get all the pieces to the same thickness, so you don't even have to think about it later on. Well worth it. So here we got our stacks. So those 4 pieces, obviously you're making 2 of everything. So this right in the middle here is gonna be the top. And those other pieces off to the right there, those are gonna be the back panel and the bottom shelf. So you can see here, what I tried to do is line up the grain best I could, so we hide that glue seam. So bring it over to the table saw, and we'll just rip that through. I like to experiment with different ways to do a good glue line rip. I don't have a quality joiner. I do have a quality table saw and blade, so I find that gets me the best result normally. But I've never done it this way before. Never really had small enough pieces to do this, but this worked quite well. Check that out. Here we're marking out where our dowels are going to be to glue this together. Now the dowels, contrary to a lot of belief, the dowels are not to increase the strength of this joint. They're not necessary for this, especially this, it's 2-inch thick wood. After I milled it, it's pretty well exactly 2 inches. So that's more than enough surface area for the glue. This would never break on the glue joint. It would break maybe an inch to the right or left of the glue joint. The glue joint's stronger than the natural grain of the wood. So dowels aren't for strength, but they do make the glue up a heck of a lot easier. And it aligns the pieces of wood perfectly, so there's minimal sanding or planing after the fact. You'll see. Also, I bought this fancy thing a while ago, so it automatically centers a dowel hole, and it's for drilling dowels. I have the 5/16 bushings in there, so I can just take a drill bit like so, mark out how deep I'm gonna go, which is a little bit, about a 1/16 of an inch over half the depth of the dowel. And you do that to leave a little bit of glue room in the bottom of the hole. Look at that. Perfectly centered. Works really good. How old do you think those skates are on the wall there? All right, now that we got all of our holes drilled, we can get some glue on that baby. Fanciest glue spreader in the game. Honestly, I've been planning to buy a glue spreading like tool, like a brush, for quite a while. But honestly, like 90% of the time, a scrap strip like this just works great. No issue with that. Basically like a big popsicle stick, but it works really good actually, so that's kind of why I haven't got around to buying one yet. Hammer those home. No choking up on that hammer either. Hold it at the bottom like a man. Get some glue in these holes. Oh, that's nice. Check to see if it's flat. It's like 95% flat. We'll take it. Alrighty, out of the clamps, we're gonna get our first straight reference edge. Leaving that edge up against the fence, not necessarily perfect, but I know that edge I just cut, perfectly straight. And we're going to use that as a reference to start squaring this thing up. Now I can flip it over. I got one straight edge. Let's make it two straight edges. I know what you're thinking. Oh no, Matt, you just cut off the one dowel. Don't worry about it. It's just for aligning it up when we do the glue up. You see on the back of the table saw sled there how clean that edge is pressed up against the fence now compared to before? If you missed it, rewind and look. You can really tell the difference where my left hand is. So now that edge is perfectly square, whereas it wasn't before. You can see how it cut a kind of like a wedge off of it. That's because it wasn't square. And this fourth side, get that squared up. Lovely. Mom always told me, dull pencil, dull mind. Sharp pencil, sharp mind. Look how sharp that is. Nothing worse than a dull pencil though, honestly. Like, just take the 2 seconds, sharpen it, and you won't regret it. I'm going to be cutting this down to its final thickness. Up until this point in the project, I hadn't got the final dimensions from my roommate, what he wanted. So that's why I left it a little big. Then we agreed on a dimension. So I cut it to that dimension. That's how we do. Now the tops are designed to be literally square, so all I had to do there is cut it. I think they're 12 inches by 12 inches, so cut it one way, turn it 90 degrees, do the cross cut across the grain. There's those custom wheels in action like I was telling you about. I like to put as much stuff on wheels in my shop as possible. And you can tuck things away when you're not using them. Roll it out of the way. You got different projects. You need different kind of space. Put it on wheels. Like that whole center table there, my assembly table, all on wheels. You can roll it right out of there if I need to. Since this is a 13-inch planer, 12 by 12 top, it actually fits through there, so gives me a bit of sanding. But again, with these, since I used the dowels, I ran one thin little pass through and it sits flat. Perfect. With these, this type of crosscut on a narrower piece of wood, much safer to do it on the miter saw. So I set up my stop block. I'm cutting these all down to the 12 inches. Final depth, like I said. Left them a little longer because I didn't know. Yeah, zero clearance on the back, zero clearance on the bottom. Makes it really clean cut. Look at that. No tear out there. Just a few little fibers, but that's enough. Now the back panel and the bottom shelf, we want those to be 1.5 inches, and the top is 2 inches. He wanted a difference in thickness, so this is just me resawing those 4 pieces, back and bottom, getting them a little thinner. And honestly, I agree with this decision to thin them out. I think it looks a little less blocky, the final product. Mortise and tenon joinery gonna be happening here. So I'm gonna make a mortise in the bottom and top, and the tenons will be on the back panel that'll slide in. So that's just marking the depth of the mortise. Getting the depth stop lined up on the drill press. Back fence. Checking everything lines up good. And we're back. I messed up there. That left a big dent. And I actually cut off a 1/4 inch off the end to clean up the edge again. It was beyond repair. I figured missing a 1/4 inch wouldn't hurt. So that's what we ended up doing. I was pretty upset, but that's it. Every problem, there's a solution. You make it work. If a woodworker ever tells you they went through a project and it was flawlessly, no mistakes made, they're probably lying. Been doing this for a long time. Something always happens. Just gotta roll with it. Yeah, we do this with the drill press. Take out the majority of the material with this, and then we clean up the last bits with the chisel. And this gets it all one uniform depth, so you don't have to worry about how deep you're going. Really good system. Yes, there's a hammer sitting right there, and yes, I'm using my hand as a hammer. Honestly, going with the grain, this yellow pine, white pine, sorry, it's so soft. Chisels just glide through it. Also, note to self, next time I'm doing chiseling, I need to record it from my right side because my hand was in the way for almost every single shot. You can see it here, what's happening, but just the way you work a chisel, my hand was right in the shot every time. Beauty. So in order to hide the mounting system within the shelf, I have to clear out a bunch of this wood. You'll see in a section I'll highlight the parts I'm cutting out. But we do this so it looks like one solid piece of wood and the full end grain is still visible. That's how I keep the end grain still visible. And I've made this like pocket within the back of the shelf that can conceal the mounting system. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of all that. Also, if you haven't already, please like the video if you're having fun so far, if you've learned something, or I've at least somewhat moderately entertained you. I mean, I must have if you're still watching. So, yeah, drop a thumbs up, comment what you like about the video, comment what you don't like about the video. I don't care. I'll read it either way. We can have a conversation. What you're watching now is the making of the tenon for the top and bottom of the back panel. So what I was making with the chisel before, that mortise, these are the tenons on the bottom that fit in there. I know you're probably thinking, what the heck is this guy doing at first? But hopefully it's starting to come together now of how this is going to be assembled. Get a nice amount of glue in that pocket there. Trusty scrap piece of wood to spread, of course. Real nice fit. Hammer that down into place. Then we'll get the clam safe to seal the deal. Square, clean off glue. And the next day we come out and we pop these babies out of the clamp. Now, while I was in the clamps, I didn't take a video, but you'll see in a second, I did attach the French cleat system into the back. I'll show you here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get a video of it, I forgot. See that bottom piece that's sliding? That'll be fastened to the wall, and then it'll just click in. My favorite part of every project, sanding. That was sarcasm. Now, for the design, he wanted squared off edges. You can't leave them totally untouched because those are sharp edges. Look at that. Easy peasy.